Titans versus Steelers. Steelers won 27-24. They had a 27-7 lead, I believe, early in the third quarter. And then Tannehill hit A.J. Brown for, I believe it was like a slant. And then he just caught it, kept going, ran it all the way into the end zone. It was like 70-something yards. And that sparked their offense. And then Big Ben kind of helped them out. He threw 3 interceptions in the game. And then the Titans had a chance to tie the game, send it to overtime at the end. But their kicker, Gostkowski, he missed it. It was like a 48-yarder, I believe. He missed it wide right. Unfortunate ending for the Titans. Good for the Steelers. They go to 6-0. Titans are now 5-1. What can I say? The Titans showed me something. They showed me they have faith in their offense to bring them back. If it was any other year with the Titans and they were down that much, that was it. It was a wrap. You could put a nail on it. Like you could turn the channel to a different game. They were not coming back. But Tannehill, the way Tannehill is playing, that turnaround he's made, he has the Titans believing that even if they go down, they could still come back. And I like that about the Titans. Now they have some real weapons. A.J. Brown, Davis at wide receiver. I don't have to mention Henry. He's a monster as a running back. Might be the best running back in the league. And then they have Smith at tight end. He's a good tight end too. He can run. He could catch. They have some pieces on offense, man. They have some pieces on offense where if they go down big, I mean, ideally you don't want to be down big. No one wants to be down big, but if they are down big, you have faith in them that they could come back. Obviously, they're not a offensive powerhouse like the Chiefs were. The Chiefs are like the top on top of that list, where even if they're down a lot of points, you're still like, okay, it's the Chiefs. Like they have one of the best offenses ever, and they could always come back in any game. And they showed it last year on their way to the Super Bowl. The Titans are not there. Don't get me wrong, they're not on that level, but now you're starting to get a little more comfortable with like, okay, this game's not done. If we go down big, I have faith in Tannehill. I have faith in our weapons. I have faith in our offense that, you know what, they'll give us a chance at least to be there at the end. And that's all you could ask for. It's for when there's 5 minutes left in the game, that you still have a chance to win the game. And then anything can happen in those last 5 minutes. But good for the Titans offense. I feel like they're getting better. That was one of the things that I didn't like about them last year going into the playoffs. I feel like they were a little shy letting Tannehill do his thing in the playoffs. But now that he's been there for a year, he's here this year, I feel like if they get in the playoffs, they'll be a more competitive team because their offense is playing a lot better now. As far as the Steelers 6-0. I don't know how many people could have seen that coming. Big Ben was coming off elbow injury last year. He only played 2 games. He's really old. He's like 38 now, I believe. He's from that 04 draft class. He's been in the league for 16 years now. Him and Rivers are still chucking along, which is crazy. That draft class was one of the best for QBs. Shout out to Eli Manning, Rivers, and Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger was actually not turning the ball over that much this season, but he threw 3 picks this weekend against the Titans, and they kind of kept the Titans in the game. He could have sealed the game at the end. He tried to force the throw down the middle. It got picked off, gave the Titans a chance to go for the tie or the win. But the Steelers defense, that's a real key. That defense is stifling. They held Derrick Henry to, I believe, under 100 yards. It might have been under 80 yards. I believe he got like 75 yards. That defense, that front seven might be the best front seven in the NFL, led by T.J. Watt, J.J. Watt's younger brother. He's amazing. He's getting up there in like defensive ranks. Like he's top 10 in the league at his just defense overall, not even just at his position. He's a real impact player. He's real good. And then their offense looks pretty good. Juju, Claypool, Johnson, Washington, and then Connor's running the ball pretty good. The Steelers look strong, man. The Steelers look strong. For a while, they were always one of those teams that was there in the playoffs. The Steelers and the Patriots, I believe, made up like most of the AFC Championship games. Maybe not against each other, but they were always there. I saw a stat like not too long ago. I said like when one of those two teams missed it, that was the first year that the Steelers or the Patriots weren't in the AFC Championship for like the last 15 years or something, which is crazy. But it looks like Big Ben still has a little juice in his arm. He has a little juice, a little thread left on his tires. Steelers are 6-0. They're the only undefeated team left. A lot of people were saying that the Steelers hadn't played anybody when they were 4-0, but now they played the Browns, who were 4-1 coming into their game and just destroyed them. And then played the Titans, who came in at 5-0, and they beat them down too. So the Steelers now have played two good teams, and they came out on top both times. And now they play the Baltimore Ravens next weekend, so that's going to be a great game. The Ravens come in at 5-1, I believe, against the 6-0 Steelers. Whoo! That's going to be a great game. Can't wait to see it. That's probably it's gonna come down between the Ravens and the Steelers for the division. I think the Browns are probably gonna make the playoffs, but they're not gonna be in contention for the AFC North. So next weekend's game is gonna be real key. Steelers versus Ravens. That's gonna be real special. I think I'll say the Ravens pull the win out. The Ravens are gonna beat the Steelers next weekend. That's my take.